Isfet Archives has adult language and violence and is not suitable for children. Listener discretion is advised. Isfet Archives is a Creative Typo entertainment production. If you enjoy this show, we invite you to support us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Creative Typo. All levels of membership include ad-free listening, and our binge tier includes access to this complete season. Thank you for listening.
Chapter 23. Drip, Drip.
Detective George Bullard stood in the dining area of Amber Lang's apartment. Although Amber wasn't home, the apartment was far from empty. He observed as Agent White of the Contra organization escorted Marcus across the room to sit next to Detective Davis. Meanwhile, Agent Brown of that same organization positioned himself by the apartment door, effectively cutting off any potential exit for Bullard. The pair of hitmen were unmistakably professional, calm, calculated, and clearly experienced in these situations. Bullard had no intention of testing their aptitude for violence. Agent White had maintained a veneer of courtesy, if not outright friendliness, but he had no illusions that the kindness would be quickly abandoned should he make a wrong move. His gaze shifted from Agent White to Davis. He had gotten his partner into this mess, and he would get him out.
Listen, I've done exactly as your boss at TCO Cleaning Supplies asked. I've held up my end. Now, I'll go fetch Emily, but I need Davis to walk out with me.
That's not the deal, Detective. You want your partner out of here in one piece? You play by our rules.
Detective, while your efforts are noted, you've only brought us one of the 4 people we require. And to be frank, Marcus Baker is the least important of the 4.
Oh, go get Emily.
Fine, I'll bring her to you. But I need Davis to come with me. Now.
Oh, fuck. We aren't going to get anywhere at this rate.
Here's a new plan. You fetch Emily and show her to us from across the hall. No need to bring her inside. Just let us verify she's with you, and we'll hand Davis over.
Oh, I'll even have him ready for you. We'll be standing right here at the door waiting for you to get back.
Okay, so I grab her and bring her back to you, and then you do what?
We release Davis. Simple as that.
I mean, what do you do with Emily?
Oh, for fuck's sake, man, she already told you!
I'm old. You'll have to forgive my memory.
We detain her until we can find September and Hastings. They're the true targets of our investigation.
September and Hastings, that's all.
Yeah, unless you suddenly remember where those 2 are, in which case you could just bring them to us and it'll all be over.
I'd have told you I don't know where they are.
Sure, unless that old man's memory is failing you again.
I haven't forgotten, and I don't really give a damn what you do with them, but I honestly have no clue where they are.
Hello? Amber, are you in there?
You have got to be fucking kidding me.
Who is it?
My name is September. I'm here with my buddy Hastings. We're friends of Emily.
Oh, honest, we have no clue where they are, huh?
I swear, I had no idea.
Shut up. If you're friends with Emily, you can come on in. The door's unlocked.
How kind of you. We're coming in.
The Contra agents swiftly drew their sidearms and moved into positions that allowed them to aim at the door while keeping an eye on Bullard. Agent White slid halfway into the bathroom, using the doorframe as a makeshift shield. Agent Brown crouched on the far side of the living room, which would hide him from view as the door opened. It was the same tactic the man had used to surprise Bullard. The door handle turned slowly, each movement heavy with anticipation. Bullard's instinct screamed at him to draw his own weapon, but he knew that would only get him killed. He forced his panic to the back of his mind and held his breath, bracing for what was to come. The door swung open, and to Bullard's surprise, the threshold was empty. There was no one visible in the hallway at all. Unseen by those inside, September pushed the door wide then swiftly ducked back, concealing himself just out of the doorway. Peering briefly inside, he caught sight of Detective Bullard, positioned near a dining area, and spotted an armed Contra agent lurking toward the rear of the apartment, setting the stage for a precarious standoff.
George, is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
It's nice to see you again, Detective.
It's nice to see you as well. Oh, I can't really see you.
I think it's better we keep it that way for the time being. Are you working with the Contra agent inside?
I wouldn't say that I'm with them. I'm just trying to make a deal with the agents.
That's enough. September,
Present.
what gave us away?
Emily has told me quite a bit about Amber. She's not the type of person that would tell me to let myself in. In fact, I don't think she would let me in her house at all.
I see. Why don't you step inside and we can have a proper discussion, face to face?
I think that's a great idea. First, I will need you to disarm and toss your weapons into the hall.
Are you armed?
I wouldn't tell you if I was.
Is Hastings with you?
I wouldn't tell you if he was.
I think the neighbors might get concerned if they discover strangers shouting at one another from Amber's apartment.
Probably right. I assume they might even phone the authorities. Maybe you should simply give yourselves up.
I can't do that, September.
Who else is in there with you?
Marcus and my partner, Davis.
Bullard, if you don't shut the fuck up, I will shut you the fuck up.
September.
It sounds like things are a little hostile in there.
September.
Not at all. Come on in and we will treat you to tea and a friendly discourse.
As tempting as that sounds, I think we'll have to maintain conversation at a slight distance.
September.
What is it, Hastings?
Excuse me?
Oh, shit.
Amber is here.
What are you doing in front of my house?
Hastings, mind the door.
Seriously? I will call the police.
Hello, Amber. I was sent here by Emily. My name is September.
You. Where is Emily?
I'll take you to her in a minute, but right now, you need to understand that there are a couple of very dangerous people in your apartment.
Bullshit.
I assure you it is not bullshit. You cannot go in there.
You stay back.
September.
You keep away from me.
Listen, Emily is just outside. She's in a car across the street.
September.
What?
Is that a shifter at the end of the hall? Look past Amber.
Oh, no. Amber, you have to trust me. We have to run.
What's going on?
Run!
Marcus heard the guide's urgent shout to run and seized the moment to snap the zip ties that bound his wrist. It was George's idea to slice the zip ties, but leave them in place. He reasoned that the Contra would be more likely to discount Marcus as a threat if they believed he was restrained, a foresight Marcus now deeply appreciated. With his newfound freedom, Marcus quickly closed the distance to Detective Davis with the intention of untying the ropes that held him. As he maneuvered, his gaze swept across the chaotic scene unfolding at the apartment's entrance. September and Hastings blurred past the entrance of the apartment, running as fast as they could, and dragging behind them a woman who could only be Amber Lang. Marcus had never seen the woman in person, but the photos he saw in the file were recent enough to identify her as she raced by in a blur. The male Contra agent, the one that called himself Agent Brown, also noticed the fleeing trio. He raised his sidearm and stepped into the hallway, first glancing to his right and then his left. His firearm was initially aimed to the right, the way that September and Hastings had fled with Amber, leaving him unprepared for the threat charging from the left. A monstrous figure, resembling a Sasquatch with its fur-covered body, arched back and massive limbs, barreled into Brown. The impact sent both the agent and the beast tumbling down the hallway, disappearing from view. Back in the apartment, Detective Bullard and Agent White were momentarily frozen, each processing what they had both just witnessed. Marcus used those critical moments to loosen one of the knots that bound Davis, but it wasn't enough time to completely free the man. As reality snapped back, Agent White was the first to act, drawing her weapon, but aiming it at the door where the shifter had just passed. Bullard drew his own gun, pointing it not toward the shifter, but at Agent White. Marcus expected Bullard to shoot and eliminate the immediate threat, but he didn't. Instead, the detective cautiously retreated toward his partner. To Marcus's absolute amazement, White didn't turn and fire either. She simply ducked into the bathroom for cover and slammed the door shut. Confusion reigned. What in the hell was going on? Muffled sounds came from the bathroom where Agent White was holed up, but Marcus couldn't decipher her words. It hardly mattered. He was almost done untying Davis. The knots, familiar from his recent camping preparations, included the taut line hitch and constrictor knot. What were the chances? Marcus couldn't help but wonder, was this stroke of luck somehow influenced by Emily?
Hurry up. I don't know how long she'll stay in there.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Oh, fuck. Bullard? Is that you?
I'm here, buddy. I'm gonna get you out of here.
Jesus. Fuck, my head is swimming. Oh, God, the boss is gonna be pissed.
You just worry about getting out of here. I'll worry about the captain.
No, not your boss. My boss.
Your boss?
And got it.
All right, let's get you up. Marcus, grab his other side. We need to move now.
I got him.
Take a left, but let's make sure Brown's not still in the hall first.
George, you...
Okay, go left and then down to the end of the hall. Let's try to find a way out.
You're in deep shit, George.
Yeah, we all are, but I'm getting us out of it right now.
Okay, I don't see Brown. I think we're good.
I'm gonna throw up.
Please don't. If you throw up, I'll throw up.
Hang in there, Davis. We're almost to the corner and then we can collect ourselves.
George, listen. This whole thing, it's a setup, okay? Contra, we're surrounded. They're gonna be covering all of the
exits. I got it. Do you know how many?
12, maybe 15.
Fuck.
Deep shit. Like I said.
Don't worry, Davis. I'm not letting us go down here.
Hastings followed behind September and Amber as they raced down the hallway. The shifter had broken pursuit, but the chronicler knew the reprieve would be brief. Once a shifter had their target in sight, they weren't likely to lose them. He came to a halt next to Amber as September gestured for them to wait, then moved into the stairway to scout for danger. It was reassuring for Hastings to see September operate with such proficiency again. His friend had been out of sorts lately, and this return to normal was a welcome sight. In a moment of situational awareness, Hastings turned to Amber, who was visibly shaking, probably from terror. Terror makes sense. Between the armed assassins in her apartment and the monstrous shapeshifter that had been in hot pursuit, anyone would be shaken. He asked himself what September would do in this scenario, then placed his hand on Amber's shoulder.
Amber, we will do our best to keep you safe.
Don't fucking touch me!
Oh, I apologize. I thought...
Think all you want, but keep your hands to yourself.
It's just, this is what I've seen September do. It often helps.
I'm sure it does. And I'm sure he drugs his victims first.
I am confused. Are you wanting to be drugged?
What? No. Just don't fucking touch me.
Hey, try to keep it down.
Fuck off.
Okay, September.
There are at least 2, maybe 3 Contra coming up the stairs.
It appears that we have walked into a trap.
We assumed that would be the case. Let's start walking. Amber, can you tell me how many elevators are in the building?
Yeah, there's an elevator down the hall where I came from. And there's another down this hall and to the right. And then there's a freight elevator on the south side of the building. But you need to have a staff badge for that one, though.
And stairwells?
There's the one we just left, and then there's another near the first set of elevators.
We'll make our way to the second set of elevators and see if we can get down from there.
What is going on?
There are individuals with guns that are trying to capture and or kill us, and a shifter has been sent to hunt someone here, most likely to kill them.
Hastings, I've got this.
Okay, September.
Amber, mostly it's just as Hastings said, but we're going to get you out of here.
I'm not going anywhere with you. As soon as we get downstairs, I'm calling the police.
That is well and good. You can call the police if you choose. But first, let's get you outside and to safety. And to Emily.
Fine. Just take me to Emily.
September, it would be better for us to have a weapon or 2.
You're not wrong, but I think our main priority is to get Amber out of here and warn Emily.
The elevators are right here, around the right.
No one's here. We're good.
It seems strange that this elevator would not be guarded. Do you think there is a trap at the bottom?
I doubt it. They would have to secure the main floor, and I think that would be a little too suspicious. The police would already be on their way if a group of armed individuals took over the main floor.
Maybe local law enforcement is on the way.
I hope they are.
We will find out when we get down there.
September.
What, Hastings?
I don't think Emily is going to let us leave without Marcus.
I don't think she will like it, but now that we have Amber with us, I don't think she will risk waiting.
The elevator. It's almost here.
Okay. When we get in, Amber, get to the right and hide as much as possible to the side of the elevator. That way, when we reach the main floor, if there are people with guns, you'll be tucked away. Do you understand?
Okay.
Amber watched as the elevator doors opened to reveal Emily stood frozen, her expression etched with terror, while behind her, a Contra agent held a gun to the back of her head. The group instinctively stepped back into the hallway they had just left. The Contra agent shoved Emily forward, using her as a shield. The agent wore a black helmet and appeared to be speaking quietly over radio, likely communicating with other agents. Amber noticed a shadowy movement behind the armed man, but her view was obstructed, leaving her unable to discern what lurked in the distance. While September attempted to defuse the situation, and the agent barked orders at the group, Amber could not break her attention away from whatever was down the hall. The thing was getting closer. Fast. Taking several steps back, Amber distanced herself from the agent and Emily. The agent's order to remain still sounded distant and distorted, drowned out by the ominous figure drawing nearer. It was a grotesque sight, with long, slender arms that ended with sharp claws, a distended belly that looked as if it were about to burst, and most unnerving of all, a faceless head with skin pulled taut like a mask over whatever horror lay beneath. Deep inside, Amber knew the true terror was not what was visible, but what was hidden just under that ghastly facade. Something malevolent that sought to devour her, body, mind, and soul. The agent finally recognized that the horror painted on Amber's face was not because of him, but instead something behind him. He turned around just as the creature morphed back into its Sasquatch form, a monstrosity now charging toward them. Overwhelmed with panic, Amber acted on instinct, fleeing toward the only place she felt could offer refuge, the place she felt the safest, her home.
Amber, wait!
It doesn't appear she's going to stop.
Emily, what were you doing in that elevator with the Contra?
They grabbed me as I was coming into the lobby.
Didn't I tell you to stay in the car?
Yes, you did.
I stayed in the car until I saw Amber. I tried to catch her before she made it upstairs.
It's done. We need to get you out of here. Follow Amber. I'll be right behind you.
Where are you going?
I need to grab something. Stay with Hastings and Amber. I'll catch up.
Come on, Emily. We need to get to Amber's apartment before she gets inside.
Why?
Because that's where Marcus and Bullard were being held by the Contra.
As Natalie White sat enclosed in the bathroom of Amber Lang's apartment, a droplet of water splashed onto her shoulder from above. She had hastily shut herself in there after the detective brandished his weapon, slamming the door and readying her rifle for an anticipated confrontation with either Bullard or the shifter. Yet, as silence stretched on and no attack came, Natalie relaxed her grip on the rifle and turned her attention to the radio. Reports cracked through the device. An assault group was here to aid in capturing September and Hastings, but they would not be expecting the shifter. Natalie listened intently as Agents Stanley and Richards engaged the creature by the freight elevator. The encounter was brief, but brutal. Richards was killed immediately, while Stanley was alive, but severely incapacitated. With both hands broken and a shattered ankle, Stanley was barely managing to report in over the radio. Contemplating the shifter's possible motives, Natalie's focus shifted when Agent Pavo broke through the static, declaring that he had captured Emily and was bringing her upstairs. Just as Natalie was about to tell him to reverse course, she heard the young agent say that he now had September and Hastings as well. Natalie considered leaving her makeshift command center and running to help, when Pablo's voice spiked with terror before cutting off abruptly. It was impossible to determine what killed him, whether the cause had been September, Hastings, Emily, or the shifter. All were dangerous. Her tactical calculations grew grim as she tallied her rapidly diminishing team. Richards, Stanley, Pablo, and most likely Brown were all down. She counted 7 dead or incapacitated. Another drop of water fell from the ceiling. The apartment complex must have been a real shithole. She moved from where she sat on the edge of the tub and positioned herself against the wall opposite the mirror, strategizing her next move. Another urgent call rang through the radio, shouting for help in the stairwell. It was Gibbs, reporting that September had ambushed him and Taylor. Taylor was now dead, and his weapon was missing. The situation was spiraling out of control, and Natalie felt the weight of command heavy upon her as chaos reigned around her.
Team, this is Agent White. I'm taking control of this operation. We're losing too many people too quickly, and it's opening gaps in our coverage. I want everyone to fall back to the 4th floor. Barricade the stairwells and the elevators. They'll have to get through us to escape.
Agent White, is that you bossing people around?
Brown, you're okay?
Oh, I'm alive. Okay is kind of stretching it.
What's your status?
Oh, I got a couple broken ribs. I'm pretty sure my collarbone's fractured and the fucker took a chunk out of my left hamstring.
I'm sure you'll survive. Are you still on the 5th floor?
Nah, I'm on the 4th holding the lobby elevators here. I got Romero and Naylor with me.
Okay, good. Stay there. If we can get everyone in position, we can end this.
And what if the Inhumans go upstairs?
I have snipers outside, 1 on each side of the building.
Good. Fuck 'em.
Any sign of the shifter?
No, not from us. Seems like it's staying on the 5th.
Great. If you see the shifter or September, shoot to kill. I think September is now armed.
You got it, boss.
Have Romero radio in more reinforcements if he can.
Will do. You plan on joining us on the 4th?
Maybe. I have to go. I think someone just came into the apartment.
Natalie, if you see someone, put them down. No hesitation.
Emily Swanson is voiced by Tisha Zang. Hastings is voiced by Adam Culbertson. September is voiced by Richard Collins. Detective Bullard is voiced by Tony Kinney. Detective Mariano Davis is voiced by Glenn Michael Saxton. Marcus Baker is voiced by Nico Rodriguez. Amber Lang is voiced by Nari Kwak. Agent Victor Brown is voiced by T. Alexander Saxton. Agent Natalie White is voiced by Sarah Callaham. And narrated by Michael Cole. Isfet Archives was written by Nico Rodriguez in collaboration with Tisha Zang. Isfet Archives is a Creative Typo Entertainment production. Find out more about our show at www.creativetypo.com.
A very special thank you to our executive producers from Patreon, Nick Mead and Patrick T. Arsenault.